5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Broadcasting worldwide from Paine Studios in Cornwall, this is the Wal of Paine show on Phluid FM.
Hold tight inside the rise! Yes, with that banging set of tunes, introducing you to this week's Wal of Paine here on Phluid FM and Phluid Vision with myself, Leo Payne, alongside Neil Walters. Mate, that was a couple of crackers right there, man.
Do you know what? We haven't had a banger of an opener for a little while, have we?
Right there, a pair of smashers.
A right nice pair of bangers.
Yeah, you love it. Yeah, so.
And of course, the Prodigy kicking off there with Wild Frontier. Prodigy currently just about to embark upon their March of the Ants tour.
Yeah.
So that's quite topical at the moment.
Yeah.
Followed by Dimension, DJ Turn It Up.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we've had a few subdued intros, haven't we?
Yeah, it's time to blow the doors off on that one. That was good.
Absolutely. Yeah. Enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. The weather's still good.
Yeah, it's good enough.
Everything's good in the garden. We all say hi to Barry Leveller, who's in the chat room. Hi to Alicia Wilcox. Mary Hinge is in. Prout is in. As always. So there's a few people already dropped in.
Yeah, indeed.
I hope they like the Prodigy.
Yeah. And Dimension, plenty more banging tracks to come. And wherever you're listening or watching us, you can get in contact with us on our chat rooms at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk. The players are right at the top of the page. The chat room's right underneath. You don't need to be registered. You can just pop in any name, jump on in, join the chat, knock the narrative. And also, while we're on that, please, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, and if you follow us or if you don't, check all these out. Please help feed the head of algorithm. Like, share, follow and subscribe. We're on Facebook at /Phluid Records, Twitter at FM Fluid, although it's X now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Twitch /Phluid Vision, Mixcloud /Phluid FM, Instagram at Phluid Records, and YouTube at Phluid Vision. Please do like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, hit the little bell, the little notification bell on all those platforms that have them, and you'll be notified of all of our uploads, like I say, which you can also find at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk, all nicely archived there, all 161 videos and 200 something odd, almost 300 odd audio shows that we've managed to
We're all
out.
over it. Barry's just typed in, hi guys.
Hello,
welcome
along.
I'm throwing some shapes. Of course I am. You've got to throw shapes when you... I've seen the Prodigy, Mary, a couple of times live, and if you're not throwing shapes at the Prodigy, then you're pretty much dead, aren't you?
Yeah, basically. I've seen the Prodigy live. They're brilliant. Yeah,
they are good.
Back when Keith was still with us as well.
Mine was well back in the day, days of XL recording when they first came out with that whole... the band. Remember the band SL2 and all that XL thing really
SL2
took off.
In my mixes quite a lot as well. Done gigs with SL2.
Oh well, there you go.
Down at Helter Skelter, I believe it was. I'm trying to think back now because there's several. There's Helter Skelter, Slamming Vinyl, Dance Nation. I think it was Helter Skelter down in Milton Keynes.
Nice.
Played with SL2, but yeah, I was actually real privileged in the fact that I got to see the Prodigy super early on, just off the kind of back end of In the Jungle.
That's when I saw them off the back of Charlie and all that original.
Exactly. So Keith still had his original kind of
send me to outer space and all of that had just been out.
Which I have on vinyl next door actually.
Nice.
I have both of those on vinyl, and from that period, in fact, where I bought from Beggars Banquet in Kingston, which of course where XL Recordings is essentially based.
Well, Beggars Banquet, they hosted when the Cult, big up to the Cult, Ian Asprey, if he's watching, why wouldn't he be, and Billy Duffy with the Gretsch, of course, were the Death Cult, and before that were Southern Death Cult. They were on the Beggars Banquet label, were they not?
Exactly, yes they were.
I tell you what, we're nothing on this show, Leo, if not informative.
Yeah, exactly. I was lucky enough to see them in that pre-Keith Flint shaving his head phase, where he still had long hair, and Maxim still had dreads and was just largely kind of baggy, kind of wearing sort of dude. And is it Rodney, the last one? I keep forgetting his damn name.
There's a Liam, but I don't think Liam was...
Liam's the key guy. He's the one that does everything.
Yeah.
Not to diss the other guys in any way. They still contributed in their own ways, but let's be honest, he literally produced everything.
He is pretty much the Prodigy, isn't he?
They did have a bit of a falling out at one point. I've got a Select magazine in my magazine archive somewhere. mid-90s, 97-ish, where they're in a bit of a sort of falling out phase where like he didn't feel he was getting enough credit because Keith and Maxim had become like such frontmen for the band.
Well, I saw them twice in the mid-90s with Squancy. Hi, Squancy. If he's watching, he normally does a listen again in the car on the way to work, Paul. So he'll catch up with this like in a week or so, and he'll go, and then I'll get a WhatsApp from him going, thanks for the mention. We used to do a lot of the Beatle jams, the Bug Bash, Beatle Bash, and all that all over the country. And we saw the Prodigy twice. One was at a Beatle Bash, and one was at a Bug Jam.
Nice.
And we may have mentioned this before on the show, but me and Squancy are on the Beatle Bash video when the Prodigy come on, because it films all the crowd, and we're on there looking very, very young at the time. We don't have that VHS anymore, and we were trolling through YouTube after we'd had a couple of beers a few weeks ago going, it must be up on YouTube now, and we could not find us anywhere. Have we been deliberately cut from the Beatle Bash video?
There are some things like that out there, because I very famously was on Live and Kicking with Cyndi Lauper. Asking questions to Cyndi Lauper about, like, my question was like, you know, were there any turning points in her career where she felt she regretted she'd made the wrong choice, which she really stealthily, defensively just like, no, everything's been perfect in my career. Yeah, sure it has, Cyndi, sure it has.
If you're watching,
I mean, I love Cyndi Lauper, I love her to bits, but I know, given the background of the industry and whereabouts she was working in it, I mean, God, like, she was working with Vince McMahon on the rock and wrestling promotions and stuff like that, but I recently found like Live and Kicking on YouTube, and I found lots of different versions of that exact interview. Nowhere to be seen in it. They cut all of us out. I think there's possibly a child protection thing on that, because they cut all of us out, all of the kids asking questions.
Live and Kicking, I'm thinking, I suddenly have a mental image of Pat Sharp with enormous hair.
No, that was he was on Funhouse.
Right.
All kinds of fun prizes to be won.
He had
it's
enormous
a real
hair,
crazy show
I remember.
where anything can go.
Didn't he?
He actually
enormous
had
hair.
it shaved off for charity. I remember watching that happen. Yeah.
But back in the day, he had a lot of hair.
It was the most fantastic, like,
lacquered.
Basically, right, it was long, almost mullet at the back, but super party up the front. It was like a super party, like, or actually, I should coin it a super kick party up the front. Like,
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Because it kind of went out that way, didn't it? Like at the front initially, it was all spiked out that way and sort of like flushed back a little bit. I mean, and then down into, but later on, he actually had a fringe. He had a fringe down here with it.
I think during the early 90s and the late 80s, he was keeping El Net afloat, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, I mean, this takes me back to a brilliant thing. Shout outs to Midnight Edge and Mr. H. Shout outs to him. He's just got onto his MSc course that he's doing. He's streaming exactly the same time as us, so shout outs to him.
Heidi.
Nice Berserk review, by the way. But I was watching Midnight Edge, and like they addressed that in there. What was it they said now?
Don't let Pat Sharp go near any naked flames?
No, what it was that someone had complained that, like, in an 80s movie, why is it, like, for example, like Captain Marvel or something like that, where it's set in the 80s, like, they just give people perms and, like, it's obviously the 80s.
Yeah.
And Tom from Midnight Edge went, right, hold on a second, let me just pull this up. And he pulls up his high school graduation photo from, like, 86, 87. And literally everyone has perms, men and women, all of them, and they're all massive. And it's like, this is the 80s. I have proof it was like that. You know,
we're gonna make a film and we're gonna pretend it's in the 80s. Right, everybody go and get a perm. Right, we've got a brilliant guest coming on tonight. We are being revisited by the UK's most prolific artist, Joolz Denby.
Yes, indeed.
We've got some great new music that we will be playing. I'm going to play one in just a few seconds now, because we've got the new Kitty song, Shotgun.
Yes.
You may be aware, if you're constantly listening and you listen again, that we've played some Kitty music before. She's actually been on the show. You can look at our interview with Kitty on Vision, and she was incidentally supporting the Kaiser Chiefs back at Tunes in the Park.
Yes.
Her first single was absolutely brilliant. I don't know whether you've heard this or if anybody out there has heard this. Hopefully this will be an exclusive play.
Yeah.
But this is a tune. The lyrics, considering this girl's, what is she, 18? And this is again...
yes, she was,
that we're going to pick Joolz's brains about young talent coming up and so on and so forth. The lyrical content on this is fantastic. The production, the songwriting.
Mary Hinge there saying, "I love Pat Sharp's mullet." Yeah, no, it was a masterful thing, man. Like hours in hairspray.
Let's get an image of Pat Sharp. And we'll search an image and we'll whack one up in a minute, and we'll get him when his hair was at its largest. So yeah, for everybody out there, this is Kitty. This is her latest tune, and it is called Shotgun.
I didn't know true pain till I met you. I've been crying in my bed for days, yet I'm using this payphone to call you, since the devil's too far away. You felt my love, but that's half of what you'll feel with what's to come. I can throw my weight around. My determination's pretty strong. I've got words loaded in my shotgun, and I don't know where they came from. I like telling myself I've moved on. I was locked and you found the key, but thinking about you's a full-time job, and I'm working overtime for free. You found my love, but that's half of what you'll feel with what's to come. I can throw my weight around. My determination's pretty strong. I've got words loaded in my shotgun.
Yo, yo, yo.
Phluid Records.
Phluid Records.
I don't know where they came from, but my aim is off. Ooh, my aim is off. I can throw my weight around. My determination's pretty strong. I've got words all that loaded in my shotgun, and I don't know where they came from, but my aim is off. Ooh, my aim is off, but my aim is off. Oh, my aim is off.
Right. There you go.
Yeah, fantastic, huh?
Shotgun.
Yeah, that's nice,
How
right?
brilliant is that?
Yeah,
That's a second
fantastic.
single. Yeah, really, really good.
Really
Enjoying that.
faffing
Sorry
about there
sorry,
with my,
Kitty, for the pictures of Pat Sharp, but we just
Yeah, fantastic Pat Sharp there. You
What an
get to see his-
enormous amount of hair.
It was amazing. Like I say, it took him quite a while, like to shave it. Like I say, I think it's a Guinness World Records for the longest sheep shearing ever. Something like that.
Good old Pat Sharp.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's up to now.
Presenting a local radio station somewhere like, I don't know if it's Reading or somewhere like that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still in local radio. He's a hard worker, man. As far as I've known, I don't think he's ever had any downtime, really. Mary Hinge saying Pat Sharp can enter her funhouse anytime. Yeah,
nice.
There's
one,
a whole
Mary.
heap of fun, prizes to be won.
You dirty old.
It's a funny old show where anything can go.
What funhouse? Yeah, well, back in the day, allegedly though.
It's a real crazy place, Funhouse.
Don't forget that you have to prefix and
What
suffix.
about the twins? What about the twins on Funhouse? Does anyone remember them?
No.
I mean, they were the two girls that presented it. Was it Michaela and something?
Michaela Strachan.
Now here's a story. I was telling the good lady driver the other day, like, because obviously I was watching Louis Theroux's Weird Weekend with Keith Harris in Orville. And you know, like how I was saying, like it's really relatable watching that. As an artist myself and like an entertainer in some respects, like watching that, there's a lot you can relate to. But we were talking about like the death of variety and even like to a degree, like sort of death of panto, where like
it was
nowadays,
the whole vaudeville era. Though you used to have those big shows on a Sunday night, didn't you? Coming live from the Albert Hall or whatever. You'd have Brucey as a compere, and you'd have a ventriloquist act and a comedian. And
well, the thing is, like,
the London
even
Palladium,
quite recently, like I can recall that you had like Jordan, for example, and even Pamela Anderson coming over to be like the fairy queen or whatever in various things. And it's just like, it's not quite the same. I mean, Christopher Biggins is one thing, but he's done every panto since the origination of
Craig
panto.
Revel Horwood, of course, does quite a few, doesn't he?
Yeah, like, and Keith House did buttons and stuff like that. But pardon me.
Well, you've got a bit of a
one of those
got a bit of a throat on, haven't you?
Hello.
Oh, hang on.
Hey.
We'll get Tipple of the Week up in a minute. That'll sort that. There's Joolz. She's on. Barry will be happy.
Yeah, so like the culmination of that story was that like I went to see Robin Hood. Or was it Robin Hood? No, it's Peter Pan, sorry, at Richmond Theatre. And Michaela Strachan was playing Peter Pan.
No way.
And for everyone at home, that's Jules in the background. We will be with her in just a second. But yeah,
she's come in full of the joys of spring and laughing and set us off now.
Well, we can go straight over if you want. Should we go straight over?
Well, I was going to play, just as a quick introduction, I was going to play one of Jules's tunes. I was going to play the Mamas and Papas.
Oh, okay.
As a lead-in.
Yeah.
So let's play the Mamas and Papas, gather our thoughts.
Yes, and we shall
we will be on in
right
a second
back with Jules in just a second.
With Jules.
Cool. Hey, and here we are. We are in. And ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest, Joolz Denby.
Joolz Denby.
Again.
Oh, yeah, but thank you, Jules.
I say with more enthusiasm.
I said, I was going to say.
Again.
No, I was going to say. No, it's all right. We're flying by the seat of our pants, and I'm doing 2 or 3 things.
Never really.
But I was just going to say thank you so much for coming back on. It's absolutely fantastic to have you back. And it seems that since we last spoke and had you on the show, I mean, we were talking about how prolific a poster and an artist and a whatever you are. You just seem to have gone to the next level, because we are wanting desperately to hear about Spain. We want the Spain.
Oh, Spain! Oh my God in heaven!
Should we fill people in quickly on the? I was just going to say just before we go into Spain, Jules, one of your choices there. We played in with Mamas and Papas there.
Yeah, I thought it's kind of like it to me. It's an autumny kind of song. We're going into autumn. It's one of my favourites.
What were you up to when that came out then? Can you remember? Do you know where you were? What you were up to?
I should imagine I was incredibly stoned at a party somewhere, trying to get off with some long-haired youth. That was my normal shtick.
Oh,
time.
Funny. That's the answer we've got as well.
Oh, well, there you go, Steve. That's it.
So yeah, the last time we spoke, the story started a little bit kind of depressingly, that you were constantly just ripped off as an artist.
I mean, it's not just me, is it? I mean, how many times do we hear this story from the biggest artist down to the smallest artist? We're just not. I would say we're not taken seriously, really, and we're not sort of. Big record companies and distributors and promoters and things like that really do think that it's okay to do that.
We've, I mean, even on the small scale that we operate, Jules, we're touched by that all the time, because
all the time, mate. Yeah,
I play in a punk, ska and new wave covers band, and people think just because we love to play music, we just love to play everywhere for free.
I always call it nun syndrome.
Oh, go on.
because they think that it's a vocation, like being a nun.
Right.
Yeah.
So that we don't need to be paid because we love it so much. And I particularly like the one which goes, I can give you lots of exposure.
Yeah, well, that's whenever people say that to me, my response is, people tend to die of exposure. You know?
That's a good one. It's true. Or starve to death because you're not paying me.
Exactly.
And then they do. They try and guilt trip you by going, "Oh, I see. It's all about the money for you, is it?" They try that one, and I just generally go, "Yeah."
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's just like, good intentions, goodwill. Hi, MasterCard. What? You don't take good intentions and goodwill as payment? How odd!
I know. Can't pay my cat bills with good intentions.
Not. No,
can't pay any bills with that. I was saying to Leo earlier, Jules, I got a friend who's a professional photographer, and I do a little bit of amateur photography. So I've known him for 30 odd years. So I feel I can phone him up and pick his brains, and he's happy for me to do that. But friends of his will say, "Oh, Martin's photographer. He'll turn up and do these photos," and he says, their faces drop when he says, "Well, I'm £600 a day, or if you just want half a day, it'll be £300. And they're like, "Oh, we've got to pay you." And he's like, "Well, it is technically my job." Yes. Mm-hmm. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, digressing from that, you then found out that the Stand, your song, The Stand, or was it The Stand, was a major hit, and you went off to Spain and performed and.
Well, because it was really weird because. The Stand is a for those who aren't aware is a track, as far as I knew, right? It was just a track off an album called Hex, which was released in the 1980s. Now, this is English-speaking poetry set to rock music by Justin Sullivan.
I have the vinyl, Jules, obviously.
Yeah, so it's an album. It's niche of a niche of a niche of a niche. It and you did it, and it was a lot of fun, and I think it sold 2.5 copies, and that was grand. And to be honest with you, I just filed it away under stuff I have made, right? But I used to occasionally get royalties from Spain amounting to about 30 quid every few years, right? But I also get royalties.
Has that gone into your yacht fund, has it?
It has, love, yes.
Yeah.
And along with the royalties from the Congo. For about 30 quid, you see. So
well, I'll tell you what, you get about a bit, I'll tell you that.
Well, yes. So you think, what you do think it actually is when you start to go, "Oh, no, I get this," is because you think, they're using it as a tail out on a radio show. Do you know what they're using it as a tail out? Yeah. So you think, something like that, it's now, and all the rest of it. Anyway, I didn't think anything of it. And then a year or so before the pandemic, this Spanish... in Madrid, this big alternative rock and goth festival called Darkwood said, will you come and do The Stand? And I said, The Stand? And they went, your track off that. I was like, that one? Yes. And I thought, there must be a little goth thing, goth, And Justin, ever the optimist, said, you'll get like 6 old goths and a dog. And I said, thanking you very much.
No, that was what happened when we were inviting you down to Cornwall, which you said you wouldn't come. That's what you would have got here.
Well, so that's what I was expecting, the Cornish contingent.
Yeah.
And so, it was a trip to Spain, and then we're going to pay the flights and give you a hotel and everything nice. And I was going to go with my friend Ben, who's, done tour management before, and who I used to sell T-shirts with, and he's one of my best friends in the world. So we looked at it as a bit of a weekend in Spain.
Yeah.
And didn't think anything of it. And when we got there, eventually, it got cancelled, the pandemic, it got cancelled again, something else. Then it was on, and then we went. And we got into the airport, and at that point, I've got very severe arthritis in one of my knees. And I'd got like a full... I've got a kind of brace with dials and levers and things that honest to God, that it's like Robocop, that goes from my ankle to my mid-thigh.
Robo-Jules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, dragging my legs like Paris. And he's dragging me through the airport, and we finally sort of get to this guy who's going, "Oh, hey, it's so wonderful to see you." And we kept saying, "Aren't the Spanish polite? They're so polite, aren't they?" And he went, "Oh, it's because you're elderly." And I, cough basically.
Nice.
And he said, no, well, they're very polite to old ladies. I went, oh, well, that'll be it then. They're just being nice. And the Human League were on the same flight. And we were sort of hanging around. And I was like sort of trying to get some rest off my leg and stuff. And he went, oh, no, I cannot wait any longer. You must take this car. It was for the Human League, but you shall have it. And I thought, oh, aren't they nice?
Nice.
Yeah.
To old ladies, aren't they lovely?
Yeah.
Lovely, the Spanish, so polite.
Nice.
Put us in this hotel, lovely hotel. When we got to the desk, they said, oh, it is such an honour to have you in our hotel.
Wow.
And I went, you see, old ladies, they're so nice, aren't they nice? Anyway, this went on, and I had to rehearse a band the next morning, and that they'd put together for me. I did that, and everybody, the couple of guys that were doing it were just lovely. And then one of their friends came around and said, knelt on the floor and said, can I kiss your hand?
Ooh,
and I thought, so polite to old artists, look at them, aren't they lovely? You see, and Ben was going, oh, a bit over the top, but very sweet. And I'm like, yeah, funny, innit? Anyway, we rehearsed, we got it together. We rehearsed 4 tracks. It was like 2 on playback from the latest work I've done with Henning Noogle. And then 2 Protection and Stand from that album X.
Yeah.
With live guitar. And again, we were just waiting, and I noticed that the marquee, it was a big marquee, it was about 2,000 capacity, something like that, was filling up a bit, and I thought, oh, they're
waiting for the next act.
Yeah. That's what I thought. They're waiting for the next act, but they're being nice, and they're being so nice, polite and quiet, everything's fine. So I got up and I went into and it was about a quarter full, and I thought, oh, bless them, a few more than, I'll tell Justin it was a bit more than,
Yeah.
the Cornish lot. And we did the first 2 tracks, and they were like, oh, very polite, very nice, and honestly. Did Protection, and I sort of noticed it, there was about half full, and I thought there must be somebody big on next, and they're securing a place, But they were very nice, and they were jumping about and all the rest of it. I thought, this is lovely, isn't this lovely? And then we started up with a stand, and I realised that the whole marquee was packed to the back and outside. There must have been 2,000 some odd people.
Nice.
The minute we went into the refrain, they were screaming, they were jumping up and down, they were trying to kiss my hands, they were kneeling on the floor doing praying things, they were screaming along. It was just bonkers.
Oh, well, I tell you what, Jules, you don't get that at a New Model Army concert, so you can tell Justin he was wrong, can't you?
Yeah.
Well,
And justly deserved, though. Justly deserved.
Absolutely, because when we first spoke and we were saying about, it would be great to have you come and do some stuff, and you said, I don't think I'm that relevant. Well, clearly in Spain.
Clearly in Spain.
Yeah.
Because I came off and I was like shell-shocked. Ben was shell-shocked. He didn't know what was going on. And Manuel, who was the organiser, he came up to me and he looked at me and he said, you didn't know, did you?
Yeah.
And I went, no.
No.
And said, we don't know what is it? And he said, this was the biggest club hit in Spain for every single different type of club throughout the 80s. No club of any sort played out without playing this track. It was played in manumission, beach parties in Ibiza. It was remixed by famous DJs. He said it was the best-selling single, and I went, hold on a minute. What single?
Yeah.
And he got one of the fans to show me the single. I'd never seen it before in my life.
Wow.
So they've released a single over there off of the album.
Yeah.
And you got all the how much? I mean, the royalties on that. Surely you've got a second home in London, have you not?
Nothing.
Not in fact, no.
But are you going to go back again and do a Spanish thing?
I don't know. Ricardo and my guitar player is hilarious. It was very funny actually, because I was like limping about with the brace.
Yeah.
He just fractured his ankle about 3 weeks before I was off his head on tramadol. It was like the guy who was doing the keyboards had to, made us late on stage because he had to change into a leather kilt for no reason anybody could possibly understand. It was just chaos from start to finish, but it was wonderful. It was wonderful. It was probably the best stage experience of my life.
Wow.
Excellent.
And I've recited to 250,000 people in Hyde Park.
I mean, would you like to go back and do more of that if they offered it?
Because Ricardo's so nice and everybody was so nice.
Excellent.
And I think Ben liked it because he was like, he was having a great time and everybody was like, petting him up as well.
Yeah.
So, it was great.
Wicked. Well, maybe next time you can take a couple of backup band lawyers.
Yeah.
Well,
Get the lawyers on board.
I could do with a holiday.
People don't believe you when you say you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
They go, but you must have known about it. And I go, no, I've honest to God never seen that in my life.
Yeah, it's happened to me.
Now, we contacted Cherry Red, who are the distributors.
Okay.
And lagging their feet doesn't cover it. They went, we sent her a few checks. What's the matter with you?
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, on the back of that, because Barry Leveler is asking us some questions in the chat room.
Hi, Barry.
There you go. He wants us. He did say, I hope you're going to ask Joolz about New Model Army artwork, which I of course I am, because we've got the Symphonia.
You've got that? Yeah. I've got.
So he's just asked a question because I want to talk more about. I want to talk more about this in a little bit of detail. But Barry says to Joolz, "What's your personal favourite from your New Model Army cover art?"
Oh God,
it's a tough one, isn't it? Because that's 40 odd years worth of art.
It's the biggest continuous legacy of art for a band in the industry.
Yeah, which is phenomenally impressive, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's phenomenally impressive. I have to deal with musicians for 40 odd years.
Yeah,
I know.
Has anyone recognised that? Has anyone recognised that?
No, never. No,
it
never.
feels like something that you kind of really are justified some sort of recognition or award for, in my personal opinion.
I reckon I should get a fucking cup, mate.
Exactly.
We did
engraved at the bottom. Services rendered.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, we did touch on this last time when I know, because my favourite album was Thunder and Constellation, and I know just because Barry won't have heard this, but that was slammed, wasn't it? Was it EMI that one was out on? And they said,
EMI went mad when they saw that one.
Yeah,
they said the immortal line. It's the two immortal lines. One is it'll never sell anything with that on the front.
Yeah. Probably their best-selling album, isn't it?
It got a gold record.
Yeah.
Which I've got a copy of.
Yeah.
I've got a gold record as well.
Nice.
So they say I'll never sell anything, and I said I've worked out a concept. I know what I'm doing. There's a lot of thought behind this. It's not just me sitting there. No. And they went, do the band know a girl is doing their artwork?
That's right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and I said, well, I think they have noticed. You know what I mean?
But yeah,
they said, we don't accept responsibility for this. This will all be on your head, and tried to frighten me.
Yeah.
And I was frightened. They did frighten me, but I wasn't going to let them know that. I was like, oh shit, up their whole career. And as it was, as you say, it was their biggest seller. It was the biggest seller.
I mean, if Barry wants to look back on Phluid Vision, there's the original interview we did, Barry, whilst you're out there. And Joolz does talk about this a little bit more, because we talk about that whole girls in industry thing at the time. So that is, we have covered that, Barry. But yeah, so if you could put your finger on it, Joolz, what is, just for Barry, what's your favourite one?
Just for Barry. Oh, Barry. It's very, very difficult to say, but I think one of the ones I like the best is Between Dog and Wolf, because that front cover was so unusual.
It's all cave art style, isn't it?
It's cave art, which I love. You see, this is one of the things that I love, that the primitive work like that. But it's because it's not primitive, in fact. In fact, although we call it primitive art, it's not primitive in the same way that you can look at a Zen painting from Japan, when you see the Zen calligraphy, and they just, and you think, wow, that looks easy until you try it, and believe me, I am.
Yeah,
it's extremely hard, because this is the result of a lifetime of practicing, decades of practice, and having the ability to just do it.
Absolutely. Joolz, we're just going to take a tiny little break, because I want to play a song, and I don't know whether you're probably not listening to us at the same time, obviously, as the interview.
No, but tell me what the song is anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the beauty because Joolz knows not to have it on in the background feeding back. Unfortunately, Andrea has still got to pick that up every single week we do the quiz. But she comes on and on the background. It's like a 5-minute loop of us going round and round until she turns it on.
But yeah, we do want to come back and talk a little bit more about your artwork, because one of the things I was going to say is we champion down here a lot of youth music. And a lot of that youth music that we champion, we played a song by Kitty earlier. This is her second single. She's a local girl. She's 18. There's quite a lot of youth music. And I did want to come back after we play this tune and just talk to you about your longevity and tenacity and all those sorts of things. But this just came across our bow, if you like, yesterday. So Jack Johnson, for some strange reason, Jack Johnson's drummer Adam Tipple follows the show. He's a lovely chap, and I find myself having some most bizarre conversations with Jack Johnson's drummer, where he'll send me little reels of chickens chasing cats and things, and then and I just think this is mental. This, because we went to see them down at the Eden Project. They were down here only a little while ago, and it was the original lineup. So you've got Merlo on bass, you've got Zach on the keys. I don't know whether you're a Jack Johnson fan or whatever, but it is a little bit surreal. And he keeps promising that he's coming on the show as well, but you can never pin the bloke down. But he's worked on this song for this girl called Marina Vanoff. So if you haven't heard of Marina Vanoff, I mean, I'm predicting here, because one of the things that jumped out at me straight away was the lyrical content, which I thought was lovely, and the songwriting. So we're going to play The Sky Is Falling. This is her latest, it's her debut song, The Sky Is Falling by Marina Vanoff. And then we will be back to chat more, and Barry will be happy. We'll have a little talk about the Symphonia artwork, Joolz, if that's okay. Okay, here we go.
Harder.
Excellent. And
Right,
we're back
there
in the
you
room.
go. So that is The Sky is Falling by Marina Vanoff. So you'll have to look that up.
Oh, good luck to Marina.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Jules. Apparently, we're just having a look in the chat room. Now, there's Barry Leveler, who's in the... You tattooed one of his friends a couple of weeks
Big Bazza
ago.
give us a clue as to who that might be?
So, Barry, do you want to type in who your friend is that had a tattoo done by Jules?
Or even, what was the tattoo
What
of?
it was, yeah.
Yeah,
what
Oh,
it
yes.
was.
Yes, there we go.
Because as we all know, tattooists never remember a face, they only remember the artwork, right?
Well, that's probably true.
Is that true?
It's body parts, mate. It's disgusting, but that's how it is.
Yeah, well, you have to, don't you? Because if you don't just remember the artwork, then you're just going to be scarred for life, right?
Yeah.
Alicia Wilcox, who's in the chat room. Hi, Alicia. Says Jules's latest Zen painting is so amazing.
Does she like that?
Well, she says she wants you to keep it, so I presume you've put that up for sale.
I have to, because I have to find the vet bills for Luca's accident. Because that was 1,500 quid on the night, which is good thing I'm a saver.
So so Luca Frostfire, your
Prince, excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Prince Luca Frostfire. He's here.
Sorry,
he can hear you.
I haven't got any hair, Jules. Otherwise, I tug a forelock. But
Yeah, well, I have to, mate. And if I have to, you have to. You know what I mean?
Now he got kicked. You were saying the other day by somebody.
Well, I didn't know what happened to him. He was very, very in a lot of pain. He was screaming. He wouldn't let me touch his back end. He was very stiff when he was walking. He couldn't get up easily. And I assumed he had a broken bone. So the only thing I could do was take him to the emergency vet on the Sunday night, which was,
horrifically expensive. Now our friend...
This is why they're investigating this in Parliament at the moment, the prices that these people are charging. But, I just went and do the x-ray and it was £1,000.
It's crazy. Our friend Siege, again, he's my oldest friend, actually. We've known each other since we were 5. He's the guy who writes us all our background music and what have you.
Yeah.
They always get rescue cats. They are cat mad, and they've got a lovely cat at the moment, Billy. And they rescued him from the local cat rescue because somebody had him and decided that they would kick his teeth out. Isn't these people literally...
No, it's beyond me.
Disturbed people,
so did you see about those people who were taking selfies of a group of mares and a foal? And they were harassing these animals so much that the foal fell over the cliff edge and died.
Unbelievable.
Geez, that's incredible.
Well, unfortunately, it's not unbelievable, is it?
Well,
no, it's not unbelievable. It's not. People are sick with social media.
It is awful. It is. Social media does some good stuff. I mean, you post a lot on social media. You've done. We won't go over it, but you've done a lot of serious ones, and everybody's probably aware of. Everybody's aware of why those serious trust ones that you've put out have gone out. Yeah. We don't want to really be dwelling on that. But you're right. I mean, there's good, and there's bad. It's good for posting when you're launching. When you're trying to do something.
It has its uses. We're not disputing that it has its uses. But unfortunately, some people enjoy a drink, for example, but they don't go overboard with it and they get a lot of pleasure out of it, socialise, whatever. Some people cannot go out without drinking themselves insensible and stupid.
No.
So it's the same with social media. So most people enjoy it, they get use out of it, connect with friends and family, they get information from it, which is useful, the news or whatever it might be. And some people are just addicted to it.
Yeah.
And they're sick with it.
Well, there's groups out there that are engineering it. I mean, let's be quite honest, it's social engineering where they start trends like the Tide Pod Challenge. Like,
it's money.
No one in their right mind actually went out there and did a Tide Pod Challenge first. It was definitely generated, and put out there and fed out there. And next thing you know, people are actually eating Tide Pods. And
because there's no limit to the stupidity of people.
Yeah,
there isn't really, is there? You're quite right.
Yeah. There's always an angle to market. That's the thing as well. Like people make money off the advertising.
Anything that you see on social media like that is monetized.
Absolutely,
it's for money. There's no other reason for it.
Yeah. I mean, even
people forget that likes equals money.
Yeah.
They think it's just somebody going, "Oh, love you, love you,"
and a lot of people.
It's not. It's actually making money for that creator.
Exactly. There's a lot of people that are under the impression, particularly in the game space and particularly in younger, like YouTube kids sort of area, they're under the impression that these are just people in a basement, like somewhere, doing it off of their own back and off their own money.
No, they are.
Not realising.
They do think that.
Yeah, where like there's actually huge facilities with cubes in them, and if you watch enough of these game streamers, you'll notice they all have the same 6x8 cube, which has the same interior decoration and the same like fake neon lights in the background with their logos and everything, same headphones, same microphones, and it is literally just a farm. Like the old gold farms they used to have for video games, but now they're just sat there all day, and again, a lot of the time they're not even playing the game. The game has already been sort of recorded and whatever. All they do is go in, do a voiceover on it, pretending they're playing it, and it churns out over and over and over, and it's misleading people, in my opinion. You know,
completely. But then we have the scam farms as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we do things like, you know, the romance scam farms where they literally have cubicles of people trying to scam lonely people out of their money.
Yeah. Well, that's all. I mean, there's a lot going on with AI now where they're mimicking voices identically.
Well,
to scam
that actually does kind of link in to one of the questions that I was going to follow up with you on, because we spoke a little bit about it last time we met, and since then there's obviously the writer's strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike in Hollywood, which is, you know, apparently largely centered on the use of AI. Again, like, what do you feel? Like, do you think we are at some sort of apex?
I think it's going to destroy humanity entirely.
Yeah.
That's a very dark and sweeping statement.
Yeah, sorry, I know it is. But we are not capable intellectually of controlling this.
No.
We are just not. We can barely control. We can't control the internet.
Yeah.
Because people think the internet just stops at their browser on Google, but it doesn't. We've got a whole dark web that nobody's got any control over.
That's
in
true.
which all kinds of things which we can't even bear to think about or speak about are going on.
Yeah.
You think of the worst possible thing that you can think of now, like the worst thing that you can think of one person doing to another, and they're doing it worse on the darknet now.
Yeah.
And we can't control that.
No. I mean,
we can't even police it. We can't even find these people and imprison them or whatever, or put them on trial. There's not a cat in hell's chance we can control AI.
So from the point of creativity, because this is going to be like a key turning factor for us, obviously they've been using AI for music for years. Like, I remember 1992 or 1994, Professor Warwick revealed a AI that could mix a track.
Yeah, of course.
And we're way beyond that.
It's the same with art.
Yeah.
The thing is, people will find it a novelty for a while, right? And companies will use AI to create their artworks that they need for their corporate marketing for a while. But what will happen is that people will start to miss that human connection. You know, you mentioned the Zen painting. People will want to see that I have done that.
Yeah. Well, this brings. I mean,
artist will have sung that.
Bringing us back round to that artwork, Joolz, which is what I'm going to ask you in a second. But Barry has just come up and said, "I like Today Is a Good Day." Now, is that a clue? Did you do a Today Is a Good Day tattoo recently?
Oh, well, I've done several. I mean, I do them quite regularly. Today Is a Good Day was a musician thing, because I had already done prior to it, or a full set of artwork for that album. T-shirt designs, album covers, backgrounds, CDs, vinyl centers, everything you think of was all done, all finished. And I was sketching in my sketchbook, and Justin walked past and said, "Oh, what's that?" And I said, "It's a thing for a client." And he went, "I want that for the album." I said, and he said, and he said, "Well, that's what I want." And I said, "But I've just done it all, and the deadline's on Monday, and it's Friday." And he went, "And?" And I said, "Well, for first thing, you're going to have to email this client and ask his permission to use." It was the koi that's in the big black koi.
Yeah.
And he said, "Why?" I said, "Because it's rude if you don't do that." He said, "Oh, well, all right then. Do you think he'll mind?" I said, "I don't know. Ask him, he might mind." You know, I didn't think he would mind.
Yeah.
And of course he didn't mind. But,
no.
you know, I'm big on asking people things rather than just doing it.
Yeah. Well,
I had about 3 days to do it, and I think basically I sat up for three nights and did it.
Well, I was going to say
everything from start to finish. So that was actually tattoo designs.
Ah, okay.
Originally, well, Barry's just saying as well, AI is not going to do artists any favours. It's going to be bleak for anyone creative, but not looking.
Not entirely.
But
looking for a while, yes.
Not looking too darkly at that, Joolz. This is what I was going to say to you, because obviously we say, we champion a lot of young artists, a lot of young musicians, a lot of young bands coming up, and rather than I liken you to rather than like a firework, you're more that sort of church candle, because you've literally been around and relevant. I mean, like you said, although there's no recognition, you're the longest standing single artist for a band, and that's a band that's been going now over 40 years, but you were drawing and
nearly
sketching
45 years now.
Well, there you go. But you've done all sorts of things, and you're like Barry's saying, now we're going to touch on the artwork, the moth, which you've explained on your post, is for transcendence. The work with NMA and that Symphonia Orchestra, what comes over immediately, as always with Justin Sullivan, is the passion that he's literally got for what he does. The orchestra, you can see in those videos, are absolutely loving life working with New Model Army. I mean, Michael
because he's a proper musician. He's not just a rock musician. He's a proper musician and songwriter. So
absolutely,
he has things that they don't have, like normally, like structure, structural and technical ability. He's a producer, so he understands sound, he understands frequency, he understands placement, he understands all these things that people don't think about that goes into a record. Yeah,
but the whole thing, what I was going to say is, you've now done this, the moth, obviously, because the cover art is the moth, and again though, still relevant. That's going out again, another piece of your artwork going out to a global audience, another Joolz Denby piece, and you've been doing that for, let's say, the band's been going 45 years, you've probably been doing this for 55 years. How, with this AI thing now that we've touched on coming up, what would your advice be to anybody that's really young now and going out into music? Can they make it in music, or do they need to diversify into art or production or engineering? Do you need to have all of those things to be able to go as long as you've gone going into this? Sorry?
Only if you like doing that. I mean, to me, I liked doing it. I liked doing all the different things I did. To me, it's all the same story. Tattooing, drawing, writing, performance. It's all part of telling a story. That's all I do. I mean,
going into this, sorry, Joolz, going into this AI side now that we just touched on.
So if they enjoy doing all those things, or if they can find that they can become, it can become enjoyable to them, do as much as possible, always. Also, that gives you control over your work. If you have knowledge about how things are made, if you have knowledge about production, about being a tech, about being an engineer, if you have some knowledge, you don't know everything, but if you have some knowledge of it, then you can make informed decisions. If you don't know anything and just go, yeah, man, just do it, man, whatever, then, it's not going to... I sat with an engineer once in his house while he went through he was at a home studio. It was a big posh one, but it was still a home studio. And he said, I want to do a remix. And I said, fine. And he went through the entire album and took off any kind of reverb that was on the snare on any single track. I lost the will to live after track 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, at that time, I didn't have the confidence to say to him, dude, this isn't working, love. This is not the way forward. We don't want this to be super, super clean. That's this is the sort of 80s, 90s. Yeah. That's kind of disco stuff. This isn't going to work well with this. Yeah. So I just stuck it out. I swear to God, I don't know why it stuck in my mind, but he had like unpainted wood throughout the house, and I just wanted to paint every inch of it.
That must have been so frustrating.
Oh my God, I can't even see. Even now, I can feel how, like, that really desperate boredom that you get when you can't. You
you have to do something, but you can't. Yeah. I mean, I feel as well, like with the AI thing, like it draws this line where you suddenly become a programmer rather than an artist to a certain degree, but also like it's so restrictive. It's got to be a point where it's actually more complicated and longer to go about all of that than to just get out some
just
physical
bloody draw
media.
it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of. I see it quite like you, actually, in the sense that it's a fad, really. Like, people will enjoy using it. It'll have its applications. Films will use it for deep faking things, Oh,
I tell you what's going to happen. You'll be on Netflix and you'll choose to watch a science fiction film, and then you will choose the characters, and then you will choose the plot, and then the AI. No, this is actually going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm not laughing at that. Barry Leveler has just put 2 crying smileys in and just put unpainted wood.
Unpainted wood. Oh, mate, you've got no idea. I just hated it. He thought it was like trendy, and I just. Anyway,
you don't want to see our
It's upsetting. I'm triggered. It's upsetting. But yeah, with you'll just choose your genre, your plot, your characters. You'll put in like burly hero or curvaceous brunette heroine.
It was one of the things in my game.
It'll write your film for you, and you'll just go in like that later that evening or next day and play it.
This is an interesting
music
thing.
And with voiceovers, and it'll be
very, very Black Mirror, Joolz.
Yeah, well,
very
I mean,
Black Mirror.
You say that. Marvel just did a series called Secret Invasion with Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, okay. So the entire intro sequence is done with AI. The AI generated the intro sequence, but comedically, someone, Dave Cullen on YouTube, he ran just the concept and a few variables of Secret Invasion through an AI ChatGPT, and it came up with a script that was like 1 billion times better than the one that was in the actual Secret Invasion.
I just want to draw your attention, gentlemen, to Meg 2, The Trench.
Oh yeah.
In which the dialogue is so minimal.
Yeah.
As to be barely there, and I reckon they're just about the most crude AI robot in the world could do a better job on that dialogue.
Please don't draw my attention to Meg 2, The Trench. I didn't like Meg 1. I think I fell asleep.
I loved it.
Oh, did
I
you?
loved both of them. They were so awful.
I was also going to do a crude segue there about saying you're building your own film and building your own whatever. You built a little playlist for us, Joolz, and we want to get another one in while we're chatting. We're talking about Autumn, Time of the Season by the Zombies. Lovely track.
Yeah.
So we will play that. Joolz
Very groovy.
Joolz has got a bit of control, everybody at home, of the playlist tonight, but they're such good tunes. We're playing them all, I think.
And you'll be happy to know we've got an absolutely rammed chat room full of people.
We have. Chris has just come in.
Yeah.
Hi, Chris.
Sorry, late to the chat due to an internal crisis. Joolz.
Internet issues.
Joolz, is your anime artwork based on the music? We'll find out after we've listened to the Zombies.
Out.
Yeah.
Right. We're back in the room, and we're going to get quite literally to the bottom of Barry's tattoo.
Yeah.
So Barry's also alluding in that he's married a photographer. When we were talking about my friend being a photographer and getting asked for free, Barry said, I married a photographer, Joolz, and so she takes all of the photos of our band for free. So Barry, we're all intrigued now. What's your band? And
have you got anything on Spotify we could play?
And what is it? Well, we're going to play The Stand before the show's out. We've got to,
absolutely, yeah. I'm just asking, if there's anything on Spotify.
But if Barry's got anything, we'll look it up, Barry, while you're on, and we'll play your band.
Yeah,
with a name like Barry Leveler.
Yeah,
it's not Mark Leveler, because Mark is the singer of the Levelers, isn't he?
Yeah.
So you said that also.
Yeah. So actually, I've got another little bit of a question, right?
Yeah.
Mark and Lard. Can we talk about Mark and Lard a little bit?
Talk about Mark and Lard if you want.
Yeah, how did that come about?
Well, I have no idea. I think they just asked me to go and do a poem, and I did. And it was very funny because he'd had a number of other poets on before who would come edit. And he wasn't, I don't know if he actually even knew what I did. He just thought I was like them because it was all the ranting poetry and, that modern school and all the rest of it. But everything I've done has always been like throat-cuttingly serious.
Yeah.
And I remember doing I can't even remember what I did now.
It's not, Joolz. You're very, very funny. Just talking to you all night's just making me laugh.
Yeah, but when I'm writing, it's like that's gone out the window. And,
it's Barry from Longtide.
Hi, Barry. So we've got to the bottom of that.
A local band down here, Longtide, Jules. Look them up. They're absolutely brilliant.
Right. Well, hello, Barry from Longtide.
Hey, good stuff. So they asked you to come and do.
So I didn't think that they wouldn't know this, So I just went along to the studio, and then we was chatting just like we chat now, and I did the poem, and there was like a deathly silence on the radio. And he went, well, I was going to play, I can't remember what it was now. He said, I'm going to play something a bit more serious. And then it just developed into this thing. And at one point, I remember we were talking about Sigmund Freud. But I don't even know why. I think I was doing an essay about it because I was at a university at the time doing a mature student course. And then we got everybody to fax a Freud, which was faxing in everything that any experience you'd had about Sigmund Freud. The fax machine was red hot. I mean, it was rolling out because it was faxes then.
Yeah.
And then the next one was, what did you play in the school Christmas play? Were you like the donkey or the Virgin Mary or whatever? And did it affect your future life? And the amount of people who were totally affected by the childhood experience of what they did in the Christmas play was unbelievable.
Brilliant.
I was the Archangel Gabriel, and look, nothing's changed. But it's like this guy who was I can't remember. There was one guy who played. I think he played a shepherd or something. He was a shepherd. I mean, it was stupid stuff like that. And somebody else played the donkey and never recovered. And there was one girl who played the Virgin Mary and said it like ruined her life because she just couldn't cope with herself. But it was just stupid stuff, and it just went on. But these faxes used to roll in. We'd do a different one every time.
Brilliant.
So he never stopped me doing whatever poem I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he never said, could you do something a bit lighter?
Well, I mean,
lighten the mood, anything like. He never said that ever.
Was there like a sort of instant chemistry when you guys like eventually did start doing this? Like, did they suddenly kind of think, you know what, this is gold? Like, we can't let go of Jules.
Yeah, I think so. I think they couldn't believe that a girl, or as I was then, or a young woman as I was then, was as fucking arsey as I was, because. I don't remember. I'd had a life before I went into all of this. I've been an outlaw biker.
Yeah.
I've been married to a Satan slave. I'd had a completely different life, of quite extreme life. So the idea of going in and chatting to a load of blokes in a BBC studio was a bit tame by comparison. So if they gave me banter, I give it back, because trust me, anything they said to me in that studio was as nothing in comparison with Saturday night at the Prospect.
Well, yeah.
With the lads. They would take you to pieces.
Yeah.
Well,
just for amusement, and you had to give it. You had to be able to stand it. That's how I could do it on stage, and not be phased out when they scream stuff at me, or chuck stuff, or chuck lighted cigarettes, or pint bottles, or whatever they did, and they did.
Well, we had this in our previous chat, because obviously. A lot of the main protagonist, if you like, in Stone Baby is kind of your
that's
tour
my
of going around the clubs, and also we're just noticing, because you put up your latest poem, because we were talking about different platforms earlier as well, and you're talking about reading your poetry with Mark and Lard. Of course, you put your stuff out for consumption on Patreon, so anybody listening that also wants to get on and read your poetry can do so on
there's
Patreon.
Lots of my autobiography as well, and there's lots of short stories and stuff. It's not just poetry.
You haven't finished
it's all kinds of stuff.
Have you completed your autobiography?
No, because I want to rip it apart and start again, because somebody pointed out to me very, very truthfully and bravely, I think, and this was just a fan person, who and this was eye-opening to me. He said, he was a German guy, and he said, why are you doing this from the point of view of your association with New Model Army? This is not about you. This is about the band. Why are you doing that? Now, that was really brave of him to do that, because he was right.
I mean, a certain part of it, I guess, a couple of chapters maybe, you obviously have got to be in that. But
I'm interwoven with them.
Yeah.
I was so used to viewing myself in terms of Justin and the band and everything like that, and whatever, that I'd actually not written about myself per se, from my point of view, my career, my art, my writing.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of that in it, and it's because I was used to like putting that to one side, you know, and because his work was, you know, the bigger thing, which, you know, he's a big band and he's a brilliant artist and all the rest of it, but this is supposed to be my story.
About you,
yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I looked at it and I thought, you know what, he's right.
So you've started again?
Furious. I was furious.
How many words in were you, Joolz? How many words
thousands.
in? Oh,
damn it.
Thousands. And I was furious because I'd done it without thinking.
Don't tear it up and throw it away. Sign it and send it to me. It'll be a one-off.
Anyway, most of the stuff on the Patreon is, I mean, you can contribute money if you want.
Yep.
I generally set it to free.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Because I don't want people to feel that they have to. But if they want to, that's grand. Because some people say, I feel a bit awful about taking all this free stuff and not paying you for it. And I always go, well, you can if you want.
Yes.
There's no obligation to do that.
This is kind of where we're sitting at the moment, because we love doing this. I mean, we love having you on. We've got another band for you to look up, Joolz. I'm not overwhelming you with bands, but a band from Essex called the Luchettas.
Okay.
They've just put their debut album out called Stop Boxing on the platform. I can't stop listening to it. It is literally like catnip, and they are zooming in on the show next week. We've got a full chat room for you, but we do this for free, and we're at that point where we're saying, please do feel free to bung us a few quid if you want to. You know,
drop us a fiver if you're in the mood.
We're not allergic. We're not allergic to money.
Not allergic to money. No. No. Because people don't understand that. People like me, for example, I don't get a pension.
Well,
I'm 68. I won't get a pension.
I think this is one of the things we were touching on last time, wasn't it? Is that like most people don't understand, particularly in the fields of arts and entertainment, where we're not talking like, you know, the entertainment where you have jets paid for all around the world and the top hotels and all that. And we're talking like the real entertainment industry where it's a struggle. You know, most people do not end up with a pension. I haven't got a pension.
No. But when we were young, nobody told us we had to pay in money.
No, exactly. What you do find is
we were oblivious. We were just like running around the country and in the entire world, carrying on and doing what we were doing and thinking we were like, oh my God, you know, like we've got to get to France in 24 hours or whatever. And never thinking for a second about the nuts and bolts. Do you know what I mean? It didn't occur. So consequently, I haven't contributed enough.
I was going to say, what you do find out is you get into your 60s and find out that somebody's made a single in Spain that you never knew existed. Joolz, Alicia Wilcox has just typed in. You were talking about.
Hello, Alicia.
You were talking about the Christmas play. I was Mary and I dropped Jesus. Ha ha, that's true.
Yep. And Mary Hinge was saying they would have. Yeah. Mary Hinge said that they were the virgin donkey in the nativity.
I think she's got two parts.
I've not seen that nativity myself.
Well, that must be the interesting nativity that none of us actually got to be in, except, you know, obviously.
That's the Cornish nativity, Joolz. The less said about that, the better.
The less said about that, the better. Yeah, we've got the Yorkshire one with sheep. But anyway.
Oh, I tell you what, I do love your posts as well when you walk literally just outside of Bradford, because you post some amazing photographs which are literally...
It's not outside of Bradford. It's literally... I'm 2 miles from the city centre.
Yeah.
That's literally 5 minutes from my house. So that's 2.5 miles from the city centre.
It's stunning, isn't it? Some of the pictures that come through.
Nobody knows. Not even people in Bradford know that's all there.
No.
People in my area don't even know it's there.
It's really easy to just walk past or drive past somewhere, because I find this even in Liskeard. Like, there's still loads of places. I look down little roads and think, God, I've never been down there. Like,
never been down there. No.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? But I was so grateful to get the steroid injections in my knees so I could walk again.
Yeah.
Yes, well, I did say in our newspaper article this weekend, this week that I put in, and I said that Joolz Denby's coming on. I said we're going to be talking about music, we're going to be talking about art, but I was going to say we're going to love you and leave you in a second, Joolz, but I did say we will probably end up talking about our knees, and there you go.
Oh, our knees are so important. People, it's such a bad design fault.
Yeah,
isn't it?
We're so dependent on them, and when they go, you think, what?
Yeah.
I might be 68, but I'm 14 in my head. And I don't see why I shouldn't be running about the place, dancing in the kitchen, climbing trees, and doing all the things I did when I was 14. Because your brain is going, what the is happening?
Yeah.
You know, honestly, why can't I do this?
Like, honestly, I say this in
big up to Mr. Boback, who injected my knees. We love Mr. Boback.
Thank you, Mr. Boback. We've got another message in, Jules, quickly from Alicia. We're old, gifted and skint now. What a great tune. There you go. I just sent Jules packages of fabric to make mermaids with.
Oh, God love her.
There you go.
And it says, I know who this is, Alicia. I know who you are.
Well, she's just said, dropping Jesus made me shout, "It's a dolly, stupid," at the audience.
It's a puppet.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
God, Mary Hinge, the donkey wasn't a virgin at the end of the night. Oh, bum bum.
Straight to the lowest common denominator.
Oh, isn't it always?
But no, we're
trying to bring the level of this show up, Jules, by having you on.
It's too late. If I'm on it, you won't do that. It's just
the highest we can achieve. Like, no, I was going to say, in all honesty as well, though, like, other than a change in hair colour, I don't like. This is the second time that we've interacted. You are just as vibrant, youthfully minded, as artistically active as I've ever known you from afar, so to speak. Like, other than the silver hair, you're still exactly the same. It's just amazing.
Well, you made me laugh.
I remember asking my dad when my dad was 82. I said my dad was a gigantic Scotsman. And I remember saying to him, "Dada, how old do you think you are in your head?" And he said, "Oh, darling, about 14, I think."
Fantastic.
And to him, he was still that wild boy running about the slums of Edinburgh and, tormenting tourists and causing havoc and running away from school and joining the army for no reason and stuff like that. That he was at 82, in his head.
Yeah.
In our heads, we don't change.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
might learn more. We might acquire a bit more wisdom.
Yep.
But we're still that kid in our heads.
Well, you're not aging either, according to Alicia. She says, "I swear Jules irons her face. She has no wrinkles."
I thought ironing my face would work, Alicia. I'd be at it like you wouldn't believe.
And it's funny we should talk about knees, because we've spoken about Justin as well. I went to see him a couple of times doing his solo performances.
His knees aren't bad, actually.
Well, the last one was up at Exeter, and Rev Hammer was playing support from the Red Sky Coven, and
I know.
And then Justin.
It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday!
Oh, happy birthday! Nice. Oh, there you go, brilliant.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a bit of banter when Justin's playing his guitar and he's chatting to the crowd, and he said something about us all feeling young, and I literally shouted out to him, "Apart from our knees, Justin," and I think everybody in the audience was like, "Yep, that's about right."
Yeah, that's about right. That's where we go.
Yeah. But he was sat down for the entire gig.
His knees aren't bad, but his lower back is bad.
No, you can't.
And that's from, if you look at his videos or concerts, he has a very extreme stance when he's playing the guitar. He's got all his weight on one foot and his other legs out the back in a sort of forward motion.
I thought that was aggression and angst.
It is, but
you're telling me it's a bad back.
Yeah, it's giving him a bad back because the weight of the guitar swings forward.
Yeah.
And it means that all the pressure is on the lower part of his back.
Yeah.
So I used to come off and I'd go, "You fucking your back up, you moron."
Yeah.
Jules.
And he'd go like, "I didn't think about it," and I was like,
Jules, we're gonna have to have you back for the hat trick, because we've got to play some other tunes. We've got a couple of bits and pieces to do. Proud's night out.
Well, love to everybody in the chat. Love to everybody there.
Prouty has just said Jules is a top interviewee as ever. Jules, we're gonna play out with Insomnia by Faithless, another tune.
I love it. Yes, great tune.
Little bit different to your mamas and papas. We said
Sister
this last
Bliss,
time.
one of the best producers out there.
There
I
you
might
go.
add.
Yeah.
Sister Bliss is fantastic.
We said this last time, though. Will you come back and talk to us again? And you have. Will you come back and talk to us again?
Yeah, it's fine.
Fantastic.
Brilliant.
And
I've had a very interesting life, mate. We could be doing this for years.
Honestly,
you're always welcome anytime. We can make this a regular thing.
I think we need you once a quarter.
At least. At least.
I'll dig up more anecdotes, you know what I mean? I think, oh shit, I've got to go on their show again quickly. What have I done?
Hey, we'd love for you to read a few poems as well. If
absolutely.
Amenable. That'd be awesome.
I can do that. It's not a problem.
We'd love you to get down to Cornwall. I mean, we can't afford to travel over to Spain.
Neither can I when they're not paying me.
Yeah, exactly.
Touche.
And apologies, my phone has literally just popped up with my missed call from you from earlier, so sorry I missed that. It's literally
That's
just
all right,
popped
mate.
up
I
now.
couldn't get on the bloody Zoom thing. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And
Alicia is saying loads of love right back at you, Jules. Barry Leveler is saying great interview, Jules. Jules, thank you
bye, darling.
so much.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you to everybody. And we'll catch you later. Cheers, Jules. Here's Insomnia, Faithless. Oh, bit of insomnia
Fantastic,
there. Oh, God, Jules is a funny lady.
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely,
Thanks a lot, Jules. Thank you so much. And I think she might have actually been able to see me this time, because last time I was off camera for. But
oh, that's fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, honestly,
that's back again. I mean,
it for me, I'm sitting on starstruckness each time because it's just amazing.
Mental, isn't it?
She's
like
such a
Joolz
fantastic person.
She's just chit chatting as though like we're old buddies. It's absolutely fantastic.
So great.
It's time though. I've got to wet my whistle.
Yeah, I suppose it is.
We haven't got a quiz tonight because our quiz mistress, unfortunately, is feeling a little bit under the weather, and she said I can't phone in because I really haven't got any voice. But thank you to everybody in the chat room. It's absolutely brilliant.
Indeed,
that episode of. Will be up on YouTube.
Yep, absolutely.
And Barry, obviously, talking about the artwork and whatever. There is one already up there, Barry, on Phluid Vision that we spoke to about Jules last time.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry that we didn't want to go over that ground again, but go and watch.
Yeah, now you can check that out at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk for the audio or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk for the video. It was season 2. I'm going to say somewhere in the sort of region of episode 6-ish, but it's in there in the archive if you just go to a Phluid Vision, our website, and check that out.
So funny.
Yeah.
But we've talked ourselves dry, so what better time for...
Tipple of the Week! Perfect timing this time. Actually worked this time.
2 little stories attached to Tipple of the Week.
It's so loud again, I've got to turn that one down.
2 little stories attached to Tipple of the Week, because it's Crumbs Brewing.
Yep.
We have a sourdough pale ale. I'll see that one. And we have a ruby ale, but they are brewed with unsold bread. Now, the little stories attached to these are, this is another local brewing company to when we went down to see our friends in Surrey. And we had, what was the one we had last time? It was from Dorking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Up there, the Dorking Brewery. And this one is from Crumbs Brewery, which is another Surrey brewery. But also, I bought this and have since dug out of the cupboard our bread machine. Andrea used to make a load of homemade bread years ago.
Yeah, make me some bread.
Yeah, and I dug the bread machine. I made a lovely olive loaf the other day. And I've started just making bread because now all the kids have flown the nest and there's only the 2 of us. We don't need to go through 2 loaves of bread a day. And it's ironic that this beer is now made from unsold bread and unsold sourdough bread. Yeah. So I've got a ruby ale.
Yep.
And it says it's beer that fights food waste.
Ah, really?
Yeah, so nearly half the bread produced in the UK, Leo, never gets eaten. It does in our house. And that is a shocking waste. Yes, it is Crumbs Brewery. At Crumbs Brewing, we fight this growing problem by turning unsold bread from bread artisan bakeries into a range of delicious, we'll be the judge of that, beers. And our rye ruby uses the complete flavours of rye bread with a caraway. And it's a dark, warming brew with real richness coming out of 5%. What's yours?
My one says exactly the same up until the point of our sourdough.
Is that Homer Simpson beer? Sourdough?
Sounds like a potential inspiration for a Joolz Denby poem in the mid-80s. Sourdough. A sourdough pale uses zesty sourdough loaves in the brew. Added hops enhance the aroma, but don't overpower with bitterness. A perfect session ale. Again, we'll be the judge of that.
We will be the judge of that. So we'll go. Which one should we open first?
What do you fancy? I reckon. Let's do the pale ale first.
Let's do the pale ale, and then we'll play a tune while we imbibe, and then we'll come back with the ruby.
And see if I can avoid spilling this one all over. Or at least I don't have the shorts on this week. Right, okay, so we're going to find out. That's the wrong one. Yep. Wait, no, it is killed because don't forget we've got foldback in here now, don't we? Amazing. So, is this.
Isn't that something to do with bread as well? Foldback, isn't it?
Yeah. Is this. Now, let me think. How is this going to be? Is this going to be.
Like packing a 2,000 strong venue in Spain when you're doing the stand?
Yep.
Or
Or is it going to be the complete failure to launch of The Marvels, which has just completely squitzed out before it's even released? Let's find out. Ooh, it's perky.
I think that might be the stand.
Yeah, I think so. That's got quite a breath to it, as one might say.
Absolutely.
So
a breathy brew.
Yeah, breathy brew indeed. Let's have a little look-see. And incidentally, I didn't actually get to say it while Joolz was on. So yeah, we're talking about the stand.
She's coming back.
And the remixes, right? Mm-hmm. So shout outs to Kevin Hurry. Kevin Hurry was part of Dance Only Productions, DOP. I did a lot of work with him because I met him at college, funnily enough, on my BTEC Music Technology Audio Systems. And I did an exchange with him where I would teach him how to play keyboards and such if he taught me how to DJ.
Am I on this keyboard?
One of the tunes that was in his vast collection was indeed The Stand. Had The Stand on it. It was one of those remixes. Believe it or not, it's fantastic, and it's really weird that he actually still has that. And we were talking about it so much last time, and it only dawned on me halfway through. It's like, hold on a second, Kevin actually had that. So yeah, that would have been in the selection of tunes that he used to show me how to DJ.
Do you remember that band I was talking to you about earlier that started following us, Soul Shaker from Liverpool?
Oh yeah,
they've dropped in.
Oh well,
hey
Soul
guys,
Shaker.
Soul Shaker.
Nice
they're loving the show.
You with us.
Just joined us. It says they're enjoying the show, so hopefully they've been listening to us chatting away to Joolz, and they've just joined us at the definitive moment.
Yeah,
from up north. They like a drink, eh? They're like, this is the best part of the show. Soul Shaker.
So I'm Miss Branding in our JJ's class this week,
and I've got Butt so I'm Miss Branding as well.
Oh, do you want the last little totter of that?
I do want the last little totter of that.
There we go. There we go.
I'm going to get a nose on it.
Yeah, let's have a nosy on this, shall we?
And then we'll play the stand while we're...
it's quite mild, actually, and floral.
But I'm getting bread.
Yes.
That is bonkers.
Yes, it definitely has.
I know we've just read about the bread, but that is definitely...
Farmhouse Bloomer. Right there, Farmhouse Bloomer, man. White though, not whole grain.
No, not a granary. No.
That's not a granary though.
No, I was getting more of a baguette, but in mine. But
well, yeah, that's where the bloomer still comes in. Okay, let's have a
Farmhouse Bloomer. Swing on this. Let's go. I like that. I think I'd have some cheese and pickle with it. Do you know what?
Oh yes, cheese.
Do you know
and
what?
Pickle.
Not being funny, and I'm not joking now, saying because it's bread and you'd have cheese and pickle. But imagine you're having a Ploughman's and you're having a. Yeah, that would go stunningly well with a Ploughman's. It's interesting
because you've got that high end, like I say, the sort of the loaf, like high end, but it is very floral. It's almost like a sort of almost dandelion, like highlights to it. And I'll tell you what, this has very little bass end. Like it ain't all about the bass, with this.
No, it's all about the treble.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, it doesn't linger on the palate with a heavy tone. It leaves you with an aromatic light, almost like coriander sort of feel, and the IPA-ness. Like now, this is one of the things. IPAs can taste very coppery. You know, and you know the punk IPA flavour. You know, I mean, we had one not too long ago that we said was reminiscent of it. This is very minimal on that. It doesn't have that really strong pang of copper to it. I do think absolutely a Ploughman's would go down great with this. Maybe a salad with radishes and cucumber and tomato, a little spot of this, a little bit of cheddar, maybe even some double Gloucester. That would be a great combination of that. Yeah, have a little look-see at the read on that. That is very light, and to be a session, it was 4.2%.
It says a perfect session ale. I'll take my hat off to Crumbs Brewery. That is one of the nicest ones we've had. And whilst we are just drinking that, let's have a bit of the Isley Brothers. This is another song chosen by Joolz. Summer Breeze, which I feel now we're talking about a Ploughman's and we're talking about dropping well. So here we go.
This is the Wal of Paine show on Phluid FM.
For Barry, this is Longtide and War Cry.
There hurts golden yet easy to persuade that a flake of doubt is the end of days. We saw a shoreline conceding to the waves, and it wears me out. And I hear war cry, origin's echoing now. And I hear war cry, but it doesn't mean anything your words, your fable was keeping me engaged. What I turned and found was a torn out page. Oh well, I'm sure there was a reason for the rage, for we all fall down. And I hear war cry, origin's echoing out. And I hear war cry, and it doesn't mean anything now. And I hear war cry, origin's echoing out. And I hear war cry, and it doesn't mean anything now. And I hear war cry, origin's echoing out. And I hear war cry, but it doesn't mean anything now. And I hear war cry, origin's echoing out. And I hear war cry, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything now.
There you go, War Cry by Longtide for Barry. Thank you for joining us
Fantastic.
tonight, Barry, and glad you enjoyed the Joolz interview.
Yeah,
banging,
fantastic.
always absolutely good value. We've got some scary pictures of Pat Sharp flying around tonight.
Yeah.
We've got another bottle of Crumbs Brewery to open and get into a Rye
Yes,
Ruby,
indeed.
Leo.
Let me just.
Let's hope-
I haven't quite finished this
Oh,
one yet.
where's the bottle opener?
It is here.
I'm going to see this.
Yeah.
If this is as rambunctious as Pat Sharp's hair in that photograph that I'm looking at that we're about to put up on the screen
There
now,
you go, there it is.
or is it more
Look
like?
at that. I mean, dude, seriously, that took some damn effort, bruv. Look,
I know.
I've been growing this for
That is
20 years.
insane.
Hold on, let me switch back
He
to the
looks
other
like a
camera a second.
poodle.
Hold on, right? So I've been growing, my long hair. Look, check this out. So that's like 20. Hold on a second, let me think about this. Yeah, this is 20 years of growth, right? From a shaved head, admittedly. How the heck did he get all of that? Look at that.
Idea.
There's tons. And
No
like, it's
idea.
not just the length down like the bottom end here. Look at the top. There's got to be as much as my hair just at the top.
It's
it is.
hair insanity. Now, is this as
Mental.
rambunctious as that, or is it going to be a bit like a damp squid, like what's happened to my hair? Because I used to have hair like Pat Sharp, not quite as outlandish and outrageous.
You did have long hair, yeah. I've seen
but
the
I
photo.
did.
It's true.
Here we go.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
Ooh.
it's a bit. It's non-compliant.
It's not
It's
Pat
non-compliant,
Sharp.
like your hair, basically. Yeah.
It's not Pat Sharp.
Yeah.
Leo, pour us out a couple of shots of that. Barry
Yes,
is
have
just
a look.
saying, thanks for playing Warcry. Not a problem at all, Barry. Fantastic song. Can I get a gig shout out? Of course you can, Barry. So Longtide, the band that we've just played, and you can find them on Spotify, YouTube, all major streaming platforms. Go and check out Longtide Band. They are playing this Saturday at the King of Clubs in Ottery, St Mary.
Very well remembered. Nice one.
So if you're... No, he's told me.
Oh, sorry. It's right
Yeah,
there in
Barry's
front of us.
just
Sorry.
thinking, God, my memory's not that good.
Yeah.
So if you're up in the Ottery, lovely town by the way, Ottery St Mary, lovely little village. My son Elliot works at the school up there. He's a special needs sport teacher in one of the schools up there.
Stuff.
It's not Ottery St Mary Primary, it's the Westfield one. Okay. So yeah, get up and see Longtide playing. We saw Barry just doing a solo gig last May, didn't we, at the Relay for Life?
Yes,
and
he was fantastic.
I have to say this, Barry, I know you're on, but he's a lovely guy.
Yeah.
He's absolutely fantastic on his own. So the band we haven't seen live, I'm sure will be absolutely amazing.
And once again, if you want to check that out, you can do that over on our on-demand at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk for the audio and vision.fluidrecords.co.uk for the video. It's all up there, like his entire set. Who else did we have up there? We've got Adam Hinks, we've got Emma Blythe, Emily Brunt, Cougar Catchers. Did I say Adam Hinks?
Yes, you said Adam Hinks. Yeah, we had
Luke Middleton. Go check it out. It's under the Relay for Life playlist. So
and whilst we're talking about gigs as well, of course, it is this. If you get or you have a copy of last week's Cornish Times, of course, you will have the Phluid Records gig guide in there. If you haven't, you can go onto our website and find out what's happening on the gig guide, or you could go onto the Cornish Times and find out what's happening on the gig guide as well. Because of course, this weekend it is the Lou Big Weekend. I'm not going to read them all out. There's 9
There's loads of stuff going on, isn't there?
Doing music all over the place. East Lou, West Lou. I know Stuart's got a comedian on over at the Social Club, which will be fantastic.
What are we at? We're at the 15th this weekend, aren't we?
It's kicking off. Mellowed Out are playing. Push Through are playing. I mean, there's so many bands.
It's on web there. Like, in fact, let me just run through a couple here. Mellowed Out at the Bullers Loo 6 p.m. NAFCO 54 at the Bullers Loo 9 p.m. Push Through at the Ship Loo 3 p.m. Hey, shout outs to Push Through. Rakes the Ship Loo. Pitch Black the Ship Loo. Clatters the Globe Loo. Rich James the Globe Loo. Firebird at the Social Club Loo. And the Museum at the Old Albion in Crantock.
We're playing tomorrow night.
Yeah, exactly. You forgot about that, didn't you?
Yes,
this is one of those cases where you said the other week where you don't know you're doing a gig until you read the gig guide.
Until I do the gig guide. Well, I'm playing, or say we are playing tomorrow night, down at the Crantock Festival with Dubath.
And then you're back out again on Saturday at the Bullers at 1:30 p.m.
Are we?
On Saturday.
It's no sleep till Brooklyn, isn't it?
Yeah, Dubath.
No sleep till the Bullers, anyway.
Nah, exactly. Dubath will be on at the Bullers at 4:30. Then the Mighty Howlers, the Bullers at 4:30. Wait, that's not right. 5:30. Sorry. Duskies at the Bullers for 9:30. The Horizons at the Globe for 8:30. Nick of Time at the Social Club at 2 p.m. Mod Life Crises at the Social Club Lou 9 p.m. Joe Ninety and the Band Ecoot. Very nice name there, Bandicoot. They're at the Ship from 6. Ex-Presidents at the Ship from 6. Bucket Hat Social Club Treganissi is also on Saturday. Land of the Giants are down at By Silo. Big shout out to Andy Quick.
Hello, Andy.
If you want to check out a gig from Andy Quick, we've got him live at the Box on demand at our vision.fluidrecords.co.uk. Go check that out.
We have.
And I'll just take you through Sunday since we're almost there anyway. Sunday, you have the Red Howlers at the Bullers Loo at 1:30. Roots Mill at the Bullers from 4. Side Effects at the Bullers from 7.
Great name.
Monique in Your Pocket. It sounds cool. At the Bullers from 9:30. Bottled Blondie from 3 p.m. In the Social Club. Simon G at the Social Club from 9. John Walsh at the Copley Arms Hessenford from 3. Bucket List, the Globe from 3:30. The Busketeers at the Globe from 7. The Third Wheel from the Third Wheel in the Ship from 3. Vicious Kitchen Vicious Kitten on from 6 at the Ship. And Sons of Autumn are on from 9 at the
done,
Ship.
Leo.
There you go.
And that's what's all happening down in Lou. But as we say again, if you're not in Lou and you're up in East Devon, get and see Barry and Longtide at the King of Clubs in Ottery St Mary. We're on the Ruby Ale. We're almost time to be closing the show whilst we're doing.
We haven't actually actually reviewed the Ruby Ale yet.
We've read about it, but we haven't reviewed it because there's too much. We've got too much to do.
The nose on this is very caramel. Like, literally, if you broke open a stick of Cadbury's caramel with the caramel bunny and just took a big sniff of that, that would be what you're getting.
I'm not getting the bread off of this one like the last one. Or if you did, it's definitely actually, a granary loaf, isn't it?
This is a wholemeal. It's a bit of that sort of like, the crust. It's the very crust of a wholemeal.
Yeah. Or maybe is it a slightly overdone Coburg?
Maybe. I have a feeling
you burnt your Coburgs.
I have a feeling it may have oat and flax in there somewhere as well. There's a slight oaty overtone, but it's very caramelly, like brown sugary caramel, and the flavour.
Now, I'm not a fan of ruby ales as much as pale ales.
Absolutely love them.
So, to my money's on the pale ale. They're both lovely.
They're both great, actually.
Both lovely, but my money's on the light ale.
For the hot summer day, I'd go for the sourdough pale ale. Yep. For these days, as we're starting to get a little bit closer into autumn and winter, heading up towards Halloween and things like that, the ruby ale is this one in particular. Okay, so Hobgoblin's the most popular, well-known ruby ale in the country. And it's super heavy, it's super strong, it kind of like weighs on the palate a little bit like a forklift driver who's pushed the wrong button.
Yeah.
And
I prefer the golden Hobgoblin, you see.
Yes, well, that's a golden ale, isn't it?
Exactly.
So, I'm not a big fan of the green Goblin, unfortunately.
No, I prefer Spider-Man, but then we digressed and suddenly...
But no, that's a cider, that's their cider. But this one, much like, have you tried Aldi's red ale?
No, because I don't buy red ale.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I mean, they make a pretty good one as well.
How do they make Hoopers? Is it Hoopers?
They don't make out
no,
Hoopers,
but they have a brand
Hoopers,
of Hoopers, which I think is the ones that they sell through
Not
Aldi.
Hoopers Hooch.
No.
Oh, Hoopers Ale.
No, just Hoopers Ale, which seems to be branded up for Aldi. Other beers are available, allegedly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, their one is very good, and I'd say if people want an alternative to Hobgoblin, then that is a great one because it's cheaper and it's in Aldi and it tastes great. But this, I'd say, even goes a step above that. This is silky smooth. This
it's nice.
Yeah, like the rubbiness is good. Like I say, I'm definitely getting a bit of wholemeal crust on that.
Yeah.
But
as I say, an overdone Coburg, I think maybe is in there, or a tiger roll.
It's very light on the palate, like I say. It is very light. It's
not light on my palate.
Really? Like I'm finding that like very sort of easily drinkable in a way. Like
it is.
It's not heavy like Hobgoblin. It's
Leo, it's beer, of course it's easily drinkable.
Well, I don't know. I've had some that are absolutely awful.
Well, we had that Shipyard and Doombar Zero alcohol, which went down the sink, didn't they? They were absolutely bloody awful. Listen, we've got a couple of minutes and I want to play out with the original The Stand from Joolz off the album Hex.
Yep.
So if you've got anything to say, like you always have at the end of the show, to fit absolutely everything in, do it now and forever hold your peace, because I want to play out with Joolz.
Well, first off, I'm going to give a massive shout out to everyone in the chat room who has joined us this evening.
Yes.
Mary Hinge there suggesting that Pat Sharp might have had extensions.
That is slanderous. In fact, it's written down, Mary. That's libelous indeed.
Oh my God. No, actually, I have a feeling she may be right. Like, that is like some extreme, like, long hair there. Like, unless he'd been growing that from when he was like 5.
Let's get him on. Let's ask him.
Yeah, Pat Sharp, man. Like, get on. We'd love to have him on. Like, I love Pat Sharp. He's a great guy. Yeah, like I say, no downtime, man. But if you would like to help support us and keep the lights on here, like Neil mentioned earlier, we are actually a self-funding unit.
Yeah,
we do
we're
actually
not
fund this
allergic to
ourselves.
money.
Well, yeah, and like we don't get grants, we don't get like bursaries, we don't get donations like from like local organisations. We are self-funded. We actually pay for this out of our own pocket, and we love doing it. But if you do feel like you might want to help us keep the lights on, or even maybe expand and improve, then please do check out our website. Check out fluidrecords.co.uk/merch. It is also linked if you hit the old burger bar up at the top there. If it will actually stay still, you will see that it's linked there under Phluid merch, where you will find a fine selection of accoutrements.
And they really are beautiful.
Yeah, our feedback on this has been brilliant, isn't it? Like, again, massive shouts out to Glyn Valley for supplying with us. Yeah, like they're our partners in this, and good local company. They do local school as well. Yep, and we only sell out in fully recyclable packaging and all of this. And they, like I say, the response from everyone is they are so comfy, particularly the hoodies. Like, we're coming into autumn and winter. Now's the time to get
one
them.
for your loved ones.
So we've got our hoodies, we've got baseball caps, we've got T-shirts. We will soon have a small collection of limited edition mugs to go up as well, I believe.
We will.
And yeah, that will help us out a little bit. If you fancy going a little bit further, then you can join the Phluid crew and make a donation securely via PayPal over on that website. It's fluidrecords.co.uk/join the crew if you want to go on that way, or just use the link. And like I say, it's PayPal donation right there on the page. You can donate there. You'll go up on our Wall of Fame under the Phluid crew there, as you can see listed. And once we do our new season refresh, which we tend to do every 15 episodes or something per season, then we'll have new intros and outros, and you will be listed as executive producers of the show, because you've donated and always keep the lights going and keep running.
And also, Barry, before we disappear, Barry's just said, great show, boys. Thank you, Barry. Loved having you along. Have to come in for a chat soon. Absolutely, Barry. All we need from you.
Yeah, brilliant.
I can message you. All we need from you is an email so we can send you out a link.
Or you can come into the studio if you're local.
We'll send you some dates that we're free for a Zoom. Or, yes, if you're local and you're passing, come on in the studio and help us to co-present the show. Yep. Bring your guitar in and play it live while you're sat there.
Well, because we've got a live room next door that is perfectly ready and willing and waiting for people to do more performances in. And if
it's all going on, isn't it? It's all going on, honestly.
If you enjoyed this show and you want to watch it again, or you want to watch any of our shows again, or listen to them even, then get onto our websites at fm.fluidrecords.co.uk and vision.fluidrecords.co.uk, where you'll find all of our on-demand section, very neatly organised, 160 plus videos and about almost 300 audio shows, all there for your delectation, anywhere, any device, anytime. The live streams are there as well. You can listen, watch them anytime you want. No apps, no crap, no cookies, no nonsense. Just go to the website, it's all right there for you. And once again, we always finish up with this. Please do feed the head of algorithm. It really does help us. Again, being small, being like we are, being independent, we don't have access to the boosting or the farms of people that are out there giving likes and shares. Please do like, share, follow, comment, subscribe. We've had some great comments on YouTube. Thank you to everyone that's been doing that.
Yes.
And we do try to reply to as many of them as possible. And you can find us on the socials at Facebook.com/Phluid Records, Twitch.com/Phluid Vision, Mixcloud.com/Phluid FM, Instagram @Phluid Records, YouTube @Phluid Vision, and Twitter X @FM Phluid. And yeah, do like, do share, do comment, do subscribe, hit the little notification bell at the bottom. It will notify you of all of our new uploads when they go live. So yeah.
And I'm going to be watching this again because Joolz literally made me laugh for an hour.
Indeed, yeah, I'm going to enjoy watching this back. It's going to be fantastic.
We're going to play out with The Stand. This is the song, everybody, that Joolz was talking about that went totally viral in Spain. She had no idea. There's been all sorts of remixes of the original album Hex. This is Joolz and The Stand with backing by Justin Sullivan, and I think Rob Heaton was on this album as well.
Excellent.
We'll play out with this and finish our Ruby Ale. Thank you so much.
Thank you everyone for joining us. Everyone in the chat room, thank you so much, Joolz, for joining us. We look forward to seeing and talking to you again.
And we'll be back next week with the fantastic Luchettas from Essex. If you haven't checked out the Luchettas, Lucettas, play their album Stop Boxing on the platform. You will not be able to put it down. We'll see you next week with the Luchettas.
Take care. See you next week.
It was inevitable, I suppose. I mean, it had been building up for weeks. No one could talk about anything else, just going over it, and over it, and over it. Honest, I was sick to death of it all. But you know how people are about things like that. It's all, what did he say? Did he? The bastard, I'm not standing for that. And just who do they think they are? They can't push us around, can they, lads? In the end, I suppose there wasn't any choice. I blame them, though. In my opinion, it was all needle, needle, nag, nag. They wouldn't let it drop. Of course, they're not stupid. Stands to reason. Never underestimate your enemy's intelligence, as they say. Oh, they knew what was what. No doubt about it. Dead cunning, them. Got got what they wanted in the end, too, I suppose. We just couldn't resist. After, when it was all over and we'd picked ourselves up, injuries all round but nothing you could really show, we made the best of it, like you do, you know. Wasn't as bad as all that, eh? They'll nose boss now, eh? We showed him a thing or two. That sort of thing. But, I don't know. Things weren't the same afterwards. I don't know. It's not that we'd done anything we said we wouldn't. I just think we hadn't imagined it'd be that dirty. We thought it'd be a bit of a joke. But it wasn't like that after a while. It was us there jumping through the hoops. We were the performing poodles grabbing at the bait, not them. It was all, well, degrading, if you see what I mean. Oh, everyone rushed around congratulating us. You won, it was great, you were great. People just didn't seem to understand how we felt. So we just let on. Everything was fine. I don't know. All I can say is I don't think we betrayed anyone, did we, eh? No, I don't think we let anyone down. Except maybe us.